Hey everyone, I just wanted to finish off the day with doing my John Maxwell, the 21 most powerful minutes in a leader's day. And the thought for today was, the highest compliment to a leader, other leaders follow you. So that is the question that we can ask ourselves. Are other people following us, or are we just doing things on our own for ourselves, and nobody wants to follow us, nobody wants to look up to us, nobody wants to do the things we've done? If we are, then that's not the right place to be. We should be having people follow us. We should be having people want to do what we've done. And that applies not only in our communities, but also in our own families. So I know with me, when I talk to my nieces, they say to me, "Oh, Auntie Belinda, you did that. We also want to do it." And that's a good thing. I hope they do even more things than I've done. The other thing is that in the church, there were people that used to watch me doing the children's liturgy. And after a while, I stopped doing it and I moved on to doing something else. But there are young women in the church that used to watch me, and now they are doing it. And they've told me that we liked watching you doing it and we saw how you did it, so now we wanted to get involved. And that's the beauty of leadership. It's not something unattainable. It's not something unachievable. And we have a lot of programs like that. Like when I worked in banking, I was part of the Women in Capital Markets, and we used to organize events. We used to organize campus drives where we had men and women go out together to recruit women to come into the banking industry, because it was very male dominated when I first came to Canada. So there's things like that that we can all get involved in, and we can all do wherever we are. And even with children, I mean, I don't have children of my own, but when I ran the children's liturgy, I had a lot of the parents that I got to know. I got to know a lot of the godparents. And even when there's baptisms or holy communions, whatever taking place in the church, when I go in, people are very happy. And they tell people, "Oh, she's here," and they smile. They're really happy that I happen to be at the Mass when this is taking place, the baptism or whatever it is. So it's nice when we can have that kind of an impact on our communities and our churches, and wherever we are. And it's nice for me because I'm a first-generation immigrant, and I really don't know anybody here. I haven't had anybody really open doors for me. So it's nice that I've gotten to know people on my own and that they can follow in my footsteps. Just to touch on some of the points that he's made in this reading. When people think they are unlovable and they think they can't achieve anything, then it makes it very difficult. So with me, I've been fortunate. I've had people in my life who have loved me. I've had friends, I've had family. But if there's a lot of hurt and there's a lot of discrimination, it becomes very, very difficult. So many of us in Canada are going through a vicious circle. We've worked hard, we've educated ourselves, but we just get contract after contract, and there's no stability. You're not able to save money. You're not able to come up in life. And in those circumstances, it's very difficult. What I do is I reach into my faith and I draw on the scriptures. I reach into my prayer life, and that's my source. That's where I go to get my inspiration. That's where I go to get my strength, because we all have friends, we all have families, but everybody's got their own problems. Everybody's got their own things that they're dealing with. And if needed, I do tap into counseling, so I can talk to people outside of my immediate circle. and I can speak to somebody removed from the situation. The other point that he makes is that you can, once you've had this kind of nourishing and you've been able to overcome hurdles, you're able to problem solve and you're able to size up situations. And that's true with anything. As we develop experience in an area, then we get used to it and we get used to mastering it. There's many things in our world that we've never dealt with before, like the massive floods we're having, the amount of tornadoes, the amount of earthquakes. We've never had this kind of a thing before. But we all have to adjust. And basically, I mean, even in my area, there's been tornado warnings. So we have to be prepared that, you know, each day is a gift and each day is what's given to us to live. And then he just makes the point, if you desire to invest in your life in others and gain their respect, as my friend did, his young colleague, then you need to model a sermon. So the priests at my church often say, to paraphrase it, actions speak louder than words. Like, let your life be your theology. And I think that's true of anything. I don't interfere in people's lives, especially when there's children involved or when there's medical decisions involved. Yes, if it's my immediate family, I might mention that I don't like something or I don't think something is wise. But at the end of the day, they make their decision. And 9 times out of 10, they don't listen to me anyway. I might be the graduate, I might be the one with the education, I might be the one that has the knowledge, but they always listen to other people, even if they're going to land up hurting themselves. But as long as I know I've done my share and I've told them that, you know, this is what I think, and I think it's going to be leading to problems for you in the future, there's nothing more that I can do. There's big problems now with this CN, with the Olympics, because all the sewage flows into that water and they're expecting the athletes to go and swim in it. People are getting sick. They're saying they're finding worms in the food in France. I mean, it's awful. If you're putting on a world event like that, I don't know. I mean, it's up to the athletes what they're going to do. But really and truly, if people are getting sick and if people are, you know, becoming ill, for some athletes, they say they don't care. As long as they can win that gold, that's all that matters to them. But I think if it comes down to your health, your life, you have to make those personal choices. For me, I wouldn't do it. I mean, when we grew up, we had rivers and lakes and everything. We never went and swam in the rivers. We went into flowing streams, yes, because that water is clear and the water is always flowing. But to swim in water that you know is infected and it's got sewage in it, and I shudder to think. But and worse, to even allow children to swim in that kind of a thing, I wouldn't. But again, I don't have children. I just look after children through the church, through different activities that I'm involved in. And so I am a responsible person. I'm a responsible woman, and I enjoy it. It's been an enjoyable part of my journey to be part of children's lives and to accompany them in their prayer, to teach them how to pray, how to deepen their faith. I've enjoyed all of that, and I've enjoyed working on the camps that I've been part of. So it's nice to be part of children's lives. I like children. And the parents also trust me. When I worked at different schools in Toronto, I've worked at Branksome Hall in a temporary capacity, and I've helped there and other places. All the parents liked me. So it's something to cherish, and I like being around children just the same way I like helping adults. And so those are the questions and those are the thoughts that we can take with us. I'm glad to be able to watch the Olympics in my own home. It may sound like a small thing to other people, but for me it's not, because since I came to Canada until last year, I used to either watch I got Bell TV only when I moved into this condo that I'm living in now, which is just the last few years. I didn't have TV before that, so I used to watch YouTube videos, or else I used to go to the library when the Olympics was on downtown. I used to go to the main library, or I used to sit in my old condo. They had a little library with a TV in it, and we also had a TV room, so I would sit in there. You could book it and you could go and sit and watch. But it's, when you're sitting by yourself and you're not in your own space, it's a little nerve-wracking. So for me, this is a huge blessing to be able to sit in my own space and watch my TV. It might not be a huge TV like some people have, but it's nice for me. And to know that I can turn on the TV, watch the Olympics, and enjoy it. And I also enjoyed the tennis at the Olympics. So for me, I haven't done that since I lived in Zimbabwe, in my mother's house. And it's a huge blessing for me. I'm very, very grateful that I decided to get the TV, because I still have all my bills, I still have expenses, I still have my student debt to pay down. But I thought, you know what, if I don't do it now, I'm probably never going to do it. And my computer broke down. So I thought, okay, perfect opportunity, just get a TV, because I can check my emails and everything on my phone. I don't really need to have a laptop. My laptop was good because it had the drive where you could put the DVD in, and you could watch the movies on it. And that's why I liked it. They're not making those kinds of laptops anymore. And it was a nice big screen, the biggest one. I think it's like 19 inches. So it was a nice size, and I enjoyed using it. But it's really, really a blessing to me to be able to watch TV and to do it in my own unit. It really means a lot to me. So it might not mean a lot to others, but it's something I appreciate. And also my music, I got a record player only in the last few years, so I can listen to vinyl. And I have some really nice vinyl that I've collected, and also vinyl that my mother has sent me, which was our family vinyl in Zimbabwe, and some that I had collected in my youth, and my CDs as well. But I don't really enjoy the CD. The vinyl sound is much richer. So if I can do it, other people can also do it. You might have to wait, like me, until you're in your 50s before you actually get to enjoy some of these things. And I think for me, I didn't expect it. I think when I left TD in 2007, I thought I would easily land another opportunity, and it just never happened. I had 3 to 6 months work and 9 or 10 months out of work, and I used up all my savings. I went into debt. So that's why now I'm just hoping and praying I get another opportunity quickly, and that I'll be able to pay back all the people I owe money to. And it's very generous of them to be kind enough to lend me that money, because they also have their own lives, their own families, their own, expenses. And for me, I mean, whether you're cooking for one person, or you're cooking for 4 people, you're still cooking. And if you're in a family, you can help each other. But if you're on your own, it's much more difficult. There's some days where, I just buy a TV dinner because I don't feel like cooking. But anybody could do that. If you're in a family, you could buy TV dinners, or you could buy takeaways for 4 people and have that. You always can rely on each other. For single people, it's not as easy. And I know you have more expenses with your families, but you have the benefit of the support of society in a different way in Canada. It's very family-oriented here. In England, it's very different because everybody gets the same kind of support. At least when I was there, I found it much easier. But I'm happy with, God's been good to me. He's blessed me with so much. And I try to use my skills to help others and to help others to come up. So I hope that helps you. And I'm going to go back to watching the Olympics now.